Hello, happy Thursday. On a side note, it's actually Wednesday night right now for me. And I'm thinking to myself, that glare from that light up above me is making my receding hairline much worse. Like up there, that's better. I'll just talk like this the whole time. No, it is what it is. As you can see, I still haven't shaved this whole time, so maybe I can just take and cut this off and patch up here. Wouldn't that look nice? Anyways, on Tuesday we talked about nuts and bolts, lock washers, lock nuts, wing nuts, regular nuts. Uh, let's talk about now cutting and tapping of threads. Now, there's a couple different ways to actually cut threads. So, in other words, let's say that we got a piece of, I don't know, half-inch round stock and we want to thread it to make our own bolt, essentially, or that mechanism. There's a couple different tools we can use. We can actually use the lathe. We can use the metal shop lathe, the engine lathe, and actually take and cut our threads. But there's another way we can do that, whether it's putting threads into a plate. Let's say we have a plate, we want to put a couple holes in it and then thread those out so we can screw bolts into it so that we don't even need nuts. We can do that. There's a way to do it. We're going to talk about that. I got a video here. It's 8 minutes long. I'm not even going to turn on the sound because I'm going to walk you through it. I thought about making my own, but I'm going to be realistic. I watched this, and this guy does a pretty good job. So I said, you know what? I'll take it from him for a little bit. So all kudos to this guy, whoever this is. You're helping out Mr. McMullen's class. So it is for education. So here we go. I'm going to hit play. He's just showing us right now. Oh, these are actually called taps. So tap and die is what you're going to hear, or tap and die set. A couple things with these taps you'll notice. This one here on the right, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see me. The threads on it are really nice, and you'll also see too, it's not as tapered as the one on the left here. Oops. There's a reason for that. That one that's on the right that you can see right now may actually be for pipe because of how it's tapped. Now, one thing I'll hit pause occasionally too is you need to know that there's a chart out there you can see here, and it says drill, tap drill chart, recommended tap drill for 75%, whatever. So take a look. To tap a, let's see if he scrolls down a little bit first. I think he scrolls down. Let's see. 172. Scroll down. I don't care about that stuff. Let's see. Come on. Come on. Yep. 1/8 inch. Come on. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down 1/4 inch. 5/6. There it is. So he's going to be putting in a 3/8 inch um, tapped hole to accommodate a 3/8 inch bolt. So you can see right here, it says that if we're going to take and use a 3/8 inch by NC16, length we don't care about. We care about diameter, 3/8 of an inch, and the number of threads per inch. That dash 16 is our threads per inch, so there's 16 threads per inch. And NC stands for National Coarse. Now, see how up above it says NF, National Fine, Coarse and Fine Thread. You'll notice here that gives you a size off to the right, along with an actual decimal equivalent, but that says 5/16. That means our hole itself, if we want to take and make it so that we can screw a 3/8 inch bolt into a metal plate of some type, that we have to drill it out with a 5/16 inch drill bit. I know you're saying, well, wait a minute. I thought we are going to put a 3/8 inch bolt and that won't fit. You're right. It wouldn't fit, but we're going to cut threads. Those threads need to have some meat on them. So if we actually just drill the 3/8 inch hole for a 3/8 inch bolt, it's just going to fall right through. We want to drill it a little bit smaller so that when we actually cut our threads with that tap, then your bolt can screw in. These charts, they're everywhere. You can get them online. They're free now. Used to be, you'd have to call up. How about this? Here's a story for you. The first year I started teaching, before I even walked in the classroom, the second I found out, Mr. McMullen, you've been hired for Clio. I'm like, cool. I immediately called up every contact in every industry I had and said, hey, got hired for this job. What can you get me? Gartool and what was the other big one? Gartool, I think, was the one that helped us out big time. They said, well, we'll send you all these, the charts for traps and or taps and dies and this and that. And if you ever go in my office, there is a big giant plastic chart, really nice, that says, tap and drill sizes and decimal equivalents of all different size drill bits. So like 3/8 is whatever in millimeter, 9 millimeter, 9.5 whatever it may be. But it's just nice to have that chart. And it's just, let's be realistic. If you're going to be decorating your shop, it looks nice. So, and they are useful. I use them all the time when I'm tapping and dyeing. So let's keep this video rolling. I'm going to turn an 8-minute video into something better. Hey, look at there. He's got, it looks like a piece of aluminum bar stock or strip steel, if we want to call it that too. He's taken and punched a hole where it's going to go. Yeah, it's definitely aluminum, soft. So that way his drill bit isn't wandering. Now, here's the thing they're going to show you. Looks like you may be in an automotive shop of some type. Just throwing that out there. Is find yourself a good tap and dye lube. I've got some stuff that's a high sulfur base. They don't make anymore. It was bad for the environment. I've still got a quart of it. I mean, you need like 2 drops. If you see anybody like just dousing it, it's too much. You need like 3, 4 drops if you're doing, a 3/8 inch hole like that. That's simple. Uh, he's got stuff by the company Lennox. Lennox is a tool company. They also probably have made that because that's probably the tap and dye that he has. Here come the odds. Too much talking. All right, so let's continue here. Yeah, Pro Tool Lube. Ooh. But there's our tap and die. So this is the tap you can see there, and that's the actual die handle. Just put it in there, one side, you tighten, and the little jaw is closed. It's just basically a clamp with 2 handles. This is the worst part, is making sure that you're perfectly straight while you're doing this. Because if you go off to the side a little bit, it'll probably catch, but the straighter you can hold that thing, the better. So I wouldn't lube right now. See, there's somebody in the back. Ooh, there's a couple people in the background. Ooh. Yeah, he's definitely in a mechanic shop. Cars are coming in. So notice he's starting it, trying to keep it as straight as possible. And don't freak out if you're not perfect. And once he's gotten it where it's not going to fall over, put a couple drops of lube on it. Now you're going to see him too. He goes forward and then back about a quarter to a half turn. Then it's going to be a half turn forward, quarter turn back, half turn forward, and he's going to keep, or he or she, whoever this is going to keep doing this. Already, that's too much oil. I wouldn't put that much on there. That's just me. I mean, if you feel a lot of resistance, sure, but he's tapping on aluminum. It's soft. So, McMullen, I fast forwarded it. Let's move that mouse away from that. So, McMullen, no, no, I'm ruining everything. Yep. I'll just use the spacebar. So why is he going, or he or she, whatever purpose this is, why are they going forward and then back quarter turn, forward and back quarter? What's happening is the teeth of that tap are cutting. Well, what's happening is all the shavings from their cuttings is just filling up inside those little grooves on the actual, which I point like this, those little grooves inside there, and they're not just going to fall away. So by going back, the back side of those cutters then break the chips off. So you're actually going to cut, break off your chips. Cut, break off your chips. If you were to just take there and go and think you could just screw that thing in and it's going to cut taps, you're going to break either your tap, especially if you're doing like an 1/8 inch hole, you're going to break your tap right off. And then you're going to go, oh, now I have a tap stuck in a hole. What do I got to do? Or it's just going to become so hard that it just doesn't even move, and then you go, oh no, and then possibly it may not even be able to break the chips, and then you got a stuck tap. Then what are you going to do? It's tedious, it's not fast, but it does the job. No, I don't care about that. All right, here we go. So, yep. Now, see, like I said, you can see all the chips down there are in the way. Remember, these chips are sharp. They may even be hot. Don't touch them. Let them just get out of the way. Once you're all the way through, and you can feel it where with one finger, then you can move that tap. Notice how he's supporting it on the bottom as he unscrews it, because you don't want to come out of the top and then ruin your first starting threads. So see how he supports it. That's a great idea. And then there, that hole's been tapped. Don't use air nozzles to blow the chips away. All you're going to do is send metal shrouds through the air. Bad idea. Use old paintbrushes are the best things for this. And you can see it works great. Now he's going to make a bolt or something that can thread into that. This is called a die. So before we had a tap, now here's the actual die. Same thing. We got 3/8 and 16 NC, meaning 3/8 diameter, 16 threads per inch. That die right there, there's two different parts of it. I wonder if I can. You'll see, whoops, no, hit the stop. So right here in this picture, you can see how it tapers in. The other side doesn't have that taper. The side that tapers in like a funnel, that's the side that's going to start or go down away from the actual handle. And this also has a holder. It goes in what they call a die holder. This one has an adjust screw. There's our die holder. You'll notice there's a little like dimple on the outside of that die so that that nut on the die holder can be tightened up. Ooh, I got a text while this is going. It's actually Mr. Thomas. Hi, Mr. Thomas. Okay. Be aware too, like how he has it right there on that groove. That can actually, if there's no set screw in there, can actually open up that die a little bit. Believe it or not, just a little tiny bit makes a difference. So yeah, see how he spins it around? That's a much better idea. I don't put him on that opening, but that's me. So same thing. We're going to take it. We're going to keep it as straight as possible. It looks like, I'm going to say it dies upside down. See how it tapers in? But maybe it tapers in more so on the other side. But notice, same thing. We're going to make a couple cuts. Forwards, then back. It's the same exact rules. You're going to go about, to get it started, 2, 3 turns, and then it's going to be a forward, then, half turn, back quarter turn, forward half turn, back quarter turn, break those chips. You can see right there, those teeth are cutting, and then right there, they break it off. Teeth are cutting, teeth are cutting, teeth are cutting. Now, you see the chip right there, boom, getting broke off. Oh, why am I pointing with my fingers? So let's watch. Okay, right there's a chip. See it? Right there is the chip, and then poof, coming back, the next cutter behind it breaks it off. And you're just going to keep doing this process over and over and over again. Notice he didn't put anywhere near as much oil on it as he originally had. And you'll notice the threads probably aren't as clean as a bolt you'd buy in the store, but they're going to be just fine. They're going to work great. Same thing. Notice he supports it. Now be careful. Those threads, they're sharp. They're really sharp. It's not like the nuts and bolts you get in the big bulk bin at Tractor Supply. Where you're like you can play with them all day long. They're not going to cut you open. Those things will cut you open. So be aware of that. They are sharp. Watch for your chips too can be sharp. When you're done with all this, again, I can't stress it enough. Take an old wire, or not a wire brush, but an actual like paintbrush is a cheap paintbrush. Use that to collect your flakes, your metal chips. Use that to brush everything off. Uh, don't use an air hose, whatever you do. Let's see. Hey, look at that. It works. And if it doesn't, guess what? You go back and you tighten up that die a little tiny bit more and you get it adjusted. I'll skip through here. No, I don't want that. I want to skip through. I don't care about the stats. So he has to retap it because he didn't have it set right as far as the actual, no, not troubleshoot. I'd like to fast forward. There we go. Let's see. Second time a charm, much better. Now, if it goes too much, it'll be real wobbly, and I mean, it will hold, but maybe not as strong as it could be. So there you go. He's made his own bolt, and we have our own thread. So, yeah, I don't care about the super duper flat. Wait, maybe I do care about the super duper flashlight. Did that just like cut a circle and then start something on fire? Now I'm just curious. Darn you, YouTube. There's no way that thing is that. Wow, that is really. Okay, that's just. Why would anybody want that? Why would you want this? Oh, it's getting to be too late. Hey, I got a flashlight to set things on fire. That sounds like a great bad idea. Oh, I left my flashlight in my sleeping bag camping. How'd that turn out? I burned my legs. Set the town on fire. People thinking. Anyways, um, so if you got any questions at all on taps and dies, the process is shoot me an email. Get a hold of me through Remind. Whatever you need to do. Don't forget the assignment that's going to be posted with this is due when? Next Thursday. It is next Thursday, as in like the beginning of June next Thursday. We got a few people still working. Keep up the good work. Seriously, I really appreciate it. Uh, the drawings that I got of the drill bits, they were okay for the most part, which are fine. One person's amazing, like honestly amazing. I was like I would just have one of those dumpy days where it's like, this is just a sad day. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, somebody turned in work. I'm sure. Wow, it was like my phone just shot like this flashlight into my face and went, oh. It was really nice. So thank you. You know who you are. But again, if you got any questions, get a hold of me. Listen, everybody. Hopefully, you're being, doing well, being safe. Uh, Teachers have still been talking. I was in a meeting today. We're trying to figure out what next year is going to look like. We're trying to figure out a lot of different things. Senior honors night. I believe we're still doing that digitally. If I let the cat out of the bag, I'm really sorry, but it's really neat. I'm excited for you to see it. Excuse me. Told you the yawnings. But yeah, take care. Enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be a lot cooler than it is right now. It's like 8,000 degrees. I was doing a little bit of drywall work upstairs in that addition. Wow, was it hot? Uh, but yeah, it's supposed to be cooler. Enjoy. I'm going to try to get the rest of that drywall done this weekend. Take care. I'll see you next Tuesday.